Greetings, this is Fear None, President, Founder, and only member of the Universal Intelligence Agency, and forever this way it shall remain. Pardon me 1 second. Just gotta reset my soundtrack.
That's the sound of the police.
Like I said, forever this way it shall remain. I am, among others, the sovereign executor, administrator, fiduciary, trustee, and most importantly, beneficiary of the last will and testament of the Almighty Creator. Now, after some of the things that I'm about to say, like, y'all might just want to shut me off right away because you're going to think I'm crazy, but I'm really saying some legitimate shit, so I invite y'all to stay tuned, watch the whole shit, listen to what I'm saying. I am going somewhere with this. I got a message particularly directed to the police. That's why I got this soundtrack going on right here, to send that message out. Anyway, when I say that I'm all of these things, and I say among others, it's because I'm waiting for my other brothers and sisters who are Israelites to claim their rightful titles as well. All black people throughout the world, really. In plain, simple English, what I'm saying is I'm now making a claim of right upon this planet. If you don't understand what I'm saying, go reference trust law. You know what I'm saying? And a claim of right basically means that you own the planet, because I now claim this planet in the name of black people everywhere. And I know I sound crazy for even thinking to want to do that. But am I? Now, just to show you that I'm not crazy, I'll provide you with a couple historical references right off the top to show you that this is not the first time in history that this has happened, that someone has made a claim of right upon the planet. Pope Boniface, I believe the 8th of Rome, did it in the year 1302, and the world has been under Vatican authority ever since. Now, if he could do it, why can't I? Now, who did Christopher Columbus claim the New World in the name of when he so-called discovered it? Was it not Ferdinand and Isabel of Spain? I could give you countless more examples, like Alexander the Greek, Philip of Macedonia, Hitler, Barack Obama, you name it, all in the name of white supremacy. But wait a minute, there were others. Others like Muhammad of Islam or Xerxes of the Persians. Now, I don't have time to name them all, but come on, y'all. Don't even try to play me. I could provide countless examples of the other nations trying to take over the world in the name of their people. Black people, it seems, are the only people who never tried to rule the world because we were so intelligent, we pretty much already did at one point. We taught the world the sciences, and we already had advanced cultures and civilizations. 10,000 years, at least, before these motherfuckers even learned how to cook their food or bury their dead, or probably before they even stood upright, according to their own versions of history. Now, our people were never cave people, but the Europeans were. Now, if these motherfuckers want to believe that we are all descendants of primates, then let them believe that. I know for a fact that it could never be proven otherwise that the African family was fashioned after the Most High's supreme illustrious greatness, and that we are a great mighty people that really just needs to rediscover that fact. We once ruled the world in righteousness, and I guess the other nations didn't really like that, so they conspired against us. And here we are today with our backs against the wall everywhere. Now, some of us are prepared to not only take a stance against all the other nations if we have to, we are of the mindset that we want it all, which is where my philosophy comes from. And we're prepared to take what we want. No settlements or negotiations here. You had your turn to rule, and it's over, and one day soon you guys will serve our kind again. So you guys go ahead and have your fun. We're working against you. Islam, Christianity, and Zionism, they all separate arms of the same body and is running wild and naked and unchecked like a baby running in a walker. Now we have to approach all these beasts with the countenance of one who is in authority and slay the very concepts of these beasts. with the truth. Now, if we continue to let them go unchecked, we will witness the growth of this nonsense, and it will eventually overcome our kind completely. Now, we're not trying to be equal, people I'm rolling with. What business do we have trying to be equal with them? None, right? Correct. The other nations ain't trying to be equal, are they? That's actually a pretty stupid question, really, when you think of it, because even Stevie Wonder or Ray Charles could see what's really going on. Marvin Gaye wanted to know what's going on. I will tell you what's going on. The other nations have duped us into cooperating with them into what they have planned against us through social conditioning and doctrine. This is and has always been our own undoing. And nobody is going to undo this for us. The other nations have grown comfortable living off of our backs. The difference is that now we have outgrown our usefulness to them. And I promise you that the people who have been in charge of all this shit all this time see us as expendable nuisances that eventually, when they get strong enough and all the pieces are correctly in place on the geopolitical chessboard, they will definitely make their moves on us. In fact, I feel they are rather confident enough right now, which is why we can see all the racial shit going on in America right now. It's like they got a license to do that shit. It seems like they think that they really want beef with us. Like they think that they finally ready to awaken the sleeping giant and to do battle with us. We keep standing down like we really don't want it, because we really don't. We've always been a righteous people, and we want to get along with and love everybody. We don't see why not. But righteousness is a two-headed sword, and first there's righteousness, and then there's something called stupidity. The other side of that stupidity that some of us have been promoting, which is something that is not often mentioned, is called justice. For the benefit of those confused by doctrine about the correct course of action worldwide for our people, I submit the following scripture. Read all of the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, in the context of what I am now discussing with you, or about to discuss with you, and tell me what you come up with. Do you know where all the white separatist racists from America are now moving to? To the islands. That's where, and they're bringing their attitudes with them. Did you notice a population growth among all the other nations in the last few years here? Ever notice how comfortable they becoming too? Like they calling us nigga and shit like that. My boy bust out somebody's teeth the other day for just mentioning the word, and he's from the States. You know, we don't permit that shit there. But they be calling us nigga all day long, and I be witnessing that. And brothers just don't be standing up for themselves. But another Israelite, in fact, the one who brought me to this truth, bust this dude's teeth out. He warned him first, said, don't use that word. Homeboy used it right away and couldn't even finish what he was saying. So they get real comfortable. And so I could see very clearly what's going on. Things is changing. Everyone wants to move to a population where blacks could easily be controlled through division. Now, what better place in the world than the Virgin Islands, where people ain't really politically savvy, and we never really been interested in that kind of stuff, and we really believe in the goodness of people, and all we got to do is be good, and since we don't really experience a lot of that stuff that's going on in the States, a lot of us are kind of neutral about it. We don't share the same emotions. But me, I come from that background. That's partially my background. So I'm sensitive to it, and I'm aware of it. I always stay aware of it. And I'm trying to bring that awareness to the people in these islands, because what happened there can very easily happen there. There can easily happen here. Now, brothers and sisters, this is what's been manifesting in the islands over the past half a century or so, beginning with the Arabs and the Indians here in the Virgin Islands. And now the white man and woman is starting to colonize here in mass. Now pretty soon, you won't have those black clowns that you have in office, manipulating the political landscape. You will have white ones. And I don't have to tell you about the impact this will have on our quality of life from that point on. Other nations do not want things to change for us except more in their favor. They will do nothing to see things change in our favor. And why should they? They could see that in our present state that we are weak. And what do the strong always do to the weak? They take advantage of them. That's what. Now we are not physically weak. We have been weakened mentally by flawed ideological perspectives and doctrines of passivity and weakness that we've been given. And once we get our minds right, it's done. Now a spell has been cast over our minds, and although outwardly we boast of having a courageous spirit, inwardly, at least for the time being, we are a race of cowards. Because of doctrine, especially the men, because bad doctrine got us into this, and the only thing that could get us out of it is good doctrine, reality, by shining the spotlight on the bad doctrine. And show people that true righteousness means getting involved in establishing order in your particular sector of the world, wherever you at. Shit is going crazy, wherever you at, you're supposed to organize with all the other righteous people and fucking kill the evil ones, I guess, if necessary. You could do everything, reason with them, whatever, and if that don't work, you gotta get their attention somehow. So righteousness has two sides. Anyway, if we want to live in a better world, we have to make it that way. Simply. And what better way to establish order throughout the world, or throughout the earth, than to be the ones running it? Now, that's what I'm talking about right now. The steps that we got to take is we have to establish a social, economical, and political, geopolitical platform that we all going to run. You know what I'm saying? And work on together. Of course, we ain't always going to be one unified solid block. That's pretty much impossible. But we can all have a little bit of operational unity. We all believe in different things, but we all have a common enemy. So we have to unify. And anyway, that's enough on that right now. Before I forget, shout out to my ever-living, all-powerful Father, Ahaya, Asher, Ahaya, the great I am that I am, literally, in Hebrew. Shout out to the mother of creation, because if there's a father, there must be a mother. So, mommy, I give you props too. Shout out to my brother Yeshaya, the son of the Almighty. Now, you might know him as Jesus, but that's not his true Hebrew name. Now, shout out to all my fallen ancestors who've given their lives in order for people like me to be in a position to do what I'm doing right now. Shout out to all my black brothers and sisters throughout the world, all of them. Shout out to the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the kings, warriors, and priests of the southern kingdom of Israel. Shout out to all the other tribes of the northern kingdom. Kwam Yasharah, Rise Israel. Now let's get it. The title of this audio and video correspondence, once again, is How to Start an Honest Revolution and Rebuild Our World at the Same Time, Part 16. And I will be your host for the next whatever amount of minutes, for which I respectfully seek your indulgence. Like I said, I'm going to say some crazy shit. So this one is going to be quick and to the point, I promise you. Now y'all listening to the soundtrack? Those of you who already know me know where I'm going with this. Now I'm going to warn all of you right now that I'm not going to be politically correct. A few feelings are liable to get hurt around here. So if you're a person who knows that they are not doing right by my people, you might want to get away from the sound of my voice and this music, because the truth hurts like holy water on a vampire. So you better get the fuck out the way, because I'm about to throw this shit on you. Now playtime is over, baby, and what I'm bringing to you has never been witnessed before in the whole history of these islands. I promise you, and I promise you that I'm just getting started. So you other nations have X amount of time to get your shit right when dealing with my people, because when myself and the other Israelites that I'm rolling with get through with our people and schooling them on the need to excel and be proficient at whatever task we put our minds and collective efforts towards, it's curtains for you guys. Now your way of life will disintegrate into nothing because it is we that has been supporting it, or else you guys would not be where you are now, period. Can anyone argue against this statement that I just made successfully? No. That was a rhetorical question. Now I want to stay on subject and not stray too far off the course of what I am intending to say. I'm talking about the police today. It does not take a genius to come to the conclusion that it seems as though it is open season on black people in America by the police, like I said, like they have license to do what the fuck they do. Now the police here in the Virgin Islands are a lot more moderate. They do not beat us and murder us because we are black. They do what they do to us because they are mentally, socially, psychologically disturbed people. Now you have to be to take that job and to remain on it. Think about all the corruption and inconsistency to the general protector of the people theory that they must see on a regular basis and that they themselves violate. Independent thought and resistance to authority is not encouraged or permitted in the department. As an officer, you have no belief system except what is given to you. There is no resistance to corruption or authority, or else every single government official for the past whatever years would have been in jail by now, and a lot of them still would be. In fact, a lot of y'all officers would be too. Officers have no loyalty to anyone except their paychecks and the chain of command. They are our modern day overseers, the gatekeepers. Whoever's paying the money and directing the policy, that is who they serve. And if they do witness some sort of corruption or discrepancy in the way anything should be handled, Code Blue suddenly goes into effect. Now these people are comrades in arms. They are blue first before they're anything else. Blue over black, bitches. That is the way it is, and I'll give them that. The job that they do is dangerous, and they have to support each other. I understand that. But my philosophy is black over all other things, though. So you should know that we naturally going to be in conflict. If blue over black is your philosophy, then I must identify you as my natural enemy. There's a history of police action to support the statement that I just made. Now I'm only addressing you today for no other reason than the ones I just stated. You are the gatekeepers, the first line of defense to the people that I would want to get to, that's keeping this shit going. You guys are the gatekeepers. Just a bunch of hired thugs, really, mercenaries, and your government is illegitimate wherever it is in the world anyway, because who gave you that authority? Every government in the world ain't nothing but a corporation that could be found on a corporate index called Dun and Bradstreet. Look it up. That means every city, state, county, municipality, whatever, of every fucking country in the world is a corporation. So I'm supposed to submit my will to a corporation? Are you fucking crazy? And you guys are the gatekeeper? So you guys are my sworn natural enemy, because it's you guys that have sworn against the people, not the people against you guys. Your kind has been doing my kind a whole heap of shit for the longest. And I'm here to tell you all today that shit is over. And it might not seem like it, and it might seem like I'm speaking from a position of weakness. But am I? Because consensus is blowing against you guys. And all I'm doing is helping it along. You know what I'm saying? Cease and desist with your criminal activity against the people of the diaspora forthwith, or the next crime you carry out against us could personally be your last. Notice I said personally, because the people I'm rolling with are not sitting on the fence anymore. And I suspect that there's a lot of people like the people I'm rolling with everywhere. Now, we've been at war forever, except that the war that the people of Israel has been waging has only been, we haven't been waging any war. It's been one-sided. But that's no longer the case. We are waking up to what's going on now. The war will no longer be one-sided. You fuck up now, and you liable maybe to have a nation of Israelites that will be coming for that ass. I'm just telling you, you ain't gotta believe me, because I know for a fact that the war will no longer be one-sided. There will be consequences. Now, by the time we're done with that ass, every one of you are going to be afraid to put on a uniform. That's my word. Now, we'll be fighting different now. You keep the uniform on, and we will be guerrilla all the way. We will always retain the psychological high ground. How many of y'all out there on the island anyway, if we combine all of you? 300? Well, there's thousands and thousands of us. And as you well know, we're armed. I know that you guys are well armed too. And you have the support of the entire U.S. criminal justice arm of the government to support you. And that is not a worry of ours though, because logistically speaking, we got this. This is chess, not checkers, baby. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to be the one to be giving the orders, but consider the following. We're going to fight you differently than you could have ever imagined that we would. Remember Jade Helm, where military soldiers are supposed to blend into the terrain and landscape? Because we know you fighting a different kind of war. We just got to adjust ourselves to that. We're not even supposed to know that these guys are there blending in with us. That there's already boots on the ground. Well, you think that we're stupid? The agents of the people are everywhere. They just don't know it yet. And they are just waiting to be activated by the right movement. And guess what? They're all around you too. So our people who would stop you are among your ranks. You just don't know it, and they don't know it either. You know what I'm saying? But once they really start to figure out what this is all about, you guys are going to come to understand that whatever you got planned, it ain't going to be no turkey shoot. And right now, brothers like me, we rallying the children of Israel, the men and the women, for us all to play our different roles, for the building of our nation. So, just as we are vulnerable and we have weaknesses in logistical matters, we realize also that you face the same problems. I'm gonna wait a few seconds because this break is playing. Mosquito biting.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
Now, just as we vulnerable and we have weaknesses in logistical matters, we realize also that you face the same problems. Just as we have problems with loyalty and with spies, we recognize also that you have this problem. We are true believers in our cause, fighting for freedom and justice. What are you other than fighting for a paycheck? You have no loyalty for the cause that you fight for, and you only do it because you're lazy and it's easy, and you face almost no resistance ever. All victories for you at this point are practically assured. So why should you change unless somebody forced you? And my response to that is that I could only show you better than I could tell you. As such, in the true time-tested spirit of warfare, and here's where it gets fucked up, because I'm going to keep it really real to y'all. I ain't holding back. As such, in the true time-tested spirit of warfare, we will do everything in our power to exploit the logistical difficulties that we know you are bound to encounter. And we know about your military might, but that ain't shit because the world has been waiting for an honest revolution. So don't be surprised when you find that those who you think are with you are not with you. American forces, NATO forces, police forces, just another enemy. Period. So, police officers, I put this as plainly as I could, and I will now put things a little more clear. Choose your friends carefully, because this war that y'all got against black people that keep going on, it's not going to keep going this way forever. Y'all better change your way soon, because I know my people, and shit's about to get ugly up in here. You know what I'm saying? And if anyone comes around from the nation of Israel, any of my people, black people, comes around asking who been throwing rocks, you better be honest with us or else. Now I'll leave it at that. This is just a taste. I can't give you the full force of it right now. Again, this is General, fear none, everlasting, President, founder, and only member of the Universal Intelligence Agency, the self-acknowledged lawless lawbreaker with many affiliates, and forever this way it shall remain. And until next time, Israel, I leave you with these words. Right on to the real and death to the fakers. Justify your existence or die like a punk. One.